So I'm not where I'd normally record a video like this, but welcome to the channel. This is my reaction to a disgraceful 5-2 loss to Seville. Like you, I'm wondering what the fucking hell happened, if you pardon my poor language. My first thought is that United just didn't turn up tonight, and if you're looking for signs early on, it's that Sevilla could play directly through us through midfield. Why? Because I think we miss Bruno and his energy that he brings, and how he gets everywhere all over the pitch. And then tonight, obviously, we got Casemiro with CDM, and then we've got a gaping hole. Eriksen and Sabitzer just together just didn't provide any resistance in the middle of the pitch, and that led to Sevilla being able to get through and overwhelm Casemiro, who I must admit didn't have one of his better games tonight for United, and directly get on top of the likes of Maguire. And in the first half also, caused problems for Wan-Bissaka, who also didn't have one of his best games for United tonight. I'm a bit shell-shocked at the moment, and I honestly say, that first goal where De Gea passes it back out to Maguire, if you were watching it on BT Sport in the UK, you've been listening to the commentary where they were talking about Maguire tried to pass it back or pass it wide. He was surrounded. It was almost like he wasn't aware of what was around him. But also the pass to him from De Gea. I mean, what was that about? He should have kicked it long or kicked it out wide. And then Maguire, if he'd have been aware of the situation he's in, he could either have let the ball roll past him, or if I was him, kicked it into Rowe's head up over the goal, give a corner. They're your choices. At the end of the day, football's all about choices, and they made the wrong choices. As for the, early on, Anthony looked like our Bryce's player, but we couldn't get the ball to him. It was reminiscent for me of the days of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where we had that huge gap between defence and kind of like midfield was pressing on and defence was sitting back a little, and that created that huge amount of space where no one could get the ball to anybody, and we were again Maguire. He only looks like he can look left and pass left, straight on or left. Never looks to his right, or not very often, especially not tonight anyway. And that led to, I think, Anthony and Wan-Bissaka not really being in the game on the right-hand side. So that led to Anthony having to track back deeper, trying to, fight for the ball, and then trying to run into open spaces, which were quickly closed down. He was having about 3 players on him at a time. Wan-Bissaka was always late in support. Sancho on the left offered nothing again. A bit of what can I say? Just offered nothing. He offered nothing. And then the second, the first half was just felt like backs to the wall. We couldn't raise our game. No pace throughout the whole team. And if we move into the second half, obviously there was a disallowed second goal. And then another howler from De Gea, where it seemed the ball looped over his head, and it seemed like it took an age to go in the goal. Honestly, at first I thought he tipped it over, and then when I realised it got in, I had to watch the replay. Obviously, I've not been at the game. Couldn't get a ticket. I feel so sorry for all those fans that have spent so much money and gone out there. Spent money on flights, spent money on hotels. Probably some of them are staying over, and they've been humiliated by such a third rate, fifth rate, fourth rate, whatever you want to call it, damn right shit rate performance from Manchester United tonight. We deservedly lost, and that tie overall was lost in the first leg. Obviously, it was. It was that shockingly bad second half, and the two dodgy own goals cost United. Well, in a way, no. Let's frame it another way. We needed to score more goals. We had all those chances in the first half and some in the second half to kill that game off, kill the tie, and we just didn't do it. And what's that led to? We're out of the Europa League. We're out. And I don't know, that's obvious, I'm speaking the obvious, but I'm just letting it sink in. Right now, it's still sinking in, and I'm just flabbergasted. I mean, looking forward to, well, actually not looking forward to anything. Martial, obviously, he's gone off injured again, so what does that prove? It means we can't keep him fit for more than 2 or 3 games. So I think that kind of ties Ten Hag's hands now. I mean, Martial that's it. I think he's had his day at United, and he needs to go. So wow, Weghorst, come on, absolutely nothing again. I could swear about him, to be honest, but I won't. I think the bringing on of Rashford on the left and Shaw on the left back added nothing. I mean, ultimately, when you've got a gaping chasm through the midfield, bringing on wingers, what are you going to do? You brought on Fred. Yeah, brought on Fred way too late in the game. I mean, ultimately, yeah, Fred had a lot of energy, and it looked like if you brought him on, say, at half time, or 50 minutes, 55 minutes, before they scored the second goal, United would still had a little bit of hope. Heads weren't low. Morale hadn't dropped. We weren't giving away stupid little yellows for trippy little fouls here, there, and everywhere at that time. You should have brought Fred on then. Injected that energy into the midfield. I mean, but ultimately what it does show, tonight's result, is if we've got any kind of weakness, so if we're missing anybody from our first choice 11, then United always struggle. And that is proven that, unfortunately, and I've got to repeat it, I'm saying this again, and I've seen it in lots of videos of late, if the Glazers stay, Ten Hag doesn't get much money. He just gets a striker. But, I mean, we're going to have those problems in the midfield too. Because ideally we need to have support or replacements. Well, not replacements, but players who can push the likes of Casemiro, the likes of Bruno Fernandes. I don't think now, having watched tonight's game, Sabitzer actually is good enough. So we need to think about probably another midfield player, someone who's probably a bit more versatile, can play in multiple positions. So I've mentioned Rashford. Yeah, I mean, Rashford offered nothing. At the end, it was too late. And that was it. So please share your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's game. Obviously, you're a United fan, so you're not going to think much different than me. But tell me, share what you thought about each of the players. Who you thought was the brightest, if there is one. Personally, I thought that was probably Anthony. More in the first half than the second, but definitely in the first half. And that's it. Thanks for watching. If you want to like the video, please like it. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe.